to be quite good. Oh, let's have a look at this one. Whose is this one? So which bit is it that you're wanting to cast in Peter?
This one.
Okay, so that's going to be quite big in the cuttlefish, but I think you'll get some really good detail. All right, so that's going to be quite an interesting experiment. There's also getting the negative space. This is an interesting thing. Sometimes you get it and sometimes you don't. All right, you can see in my samples. Yeah. Okay, so that's going to be quite an interesting one. All right. Whose is this one here?
It's mine.
Okay.
I have some real bones as well.
Okay, so I mean something like this, it is possible because we did do something this big this morning. Okay, but what you have to do is rather than squashing it in between, the technique that I showed you, is you need to carve out the cuttlefish a bit before, so you've got a little bit of something to look. Okay, so that goes for anyone who's doing something a bit bigger. Okay. We've got some quite fine things here. Is this yours? And what were you planning on doing with these ones? You're going to try and embed them inside? Yeah. Okay. So I'm just going to hold it up if that's all right. Okay. So when you're trying to embed something inside, we need to think back to the classes I did with you on setting. Okay. So you're going to have to carve in the little claws that are going to fit around it. Okay. Because it won't stick to the metal. You still need to have something that's going to hold it in. Okay. So you need to have a little think about that. That's why I've gotten you to do the drawings. So then you'll be able to start saying, well, actually, on this drawing, I need the pieces to come up a little bit more. Okay. Whose is this one? All right. What's the plan with that one?
I think I want it like have it coming through leather. So
okay.
On it, so.
All right. Cool. All right. We've got the tooth. Whose is the tooth? You've got the tooth there. Okay. All right, so again with yours, what you might need to do is just carve out a rough space for it to fit in first, so that you give it a little bit of help on its way. Okay, that's what we found worked really well this morning. Okay, whose is this one? Warhammer. I haven't seen one of these for a long time. Again, you might need to carve out a little space so that you give it a little bit of helping hand on the way. Okay, you're gonna have to be a little bit gentle. Okay. All right, so they've got some really good variety here. This one's going to be quite interesting as well. Is this one yours? Okay, so here, what you're going to have to do is to press the stone in and probably carve out those little spaces inside the cuttlefish. All right, so to be quite experimental, you might need to pour the pewter, have a look at it, put it back in the melting pot and carve out a little bit more. So keep going until you get it exactly how you want it to be. All right? Okay. Oh, who's these? Coral beads. Aha. Are you wanting to embed the coral beads inside?
Yes.
Oh, okay. That'll be quite interesting because some of them may crack a little bit with heat shock. Okay, but some of them will hold true. So it'll be interesting to see how they hold in the mold. Good experiment. Okay, that's what I really want you to get with this lesson. Okay. So if you all just take these back and put them on your benches for me, and then come back again, and I'm going to give you a demonstration.
Is it possible to make?
That's going to be a wee bit tricky. I'll show you why. Because of the curve. It's going to be a little bit tricky. All right.
Just about to start the demo now, so I'm going to hand two of the iPads to the students.
All right, this is really good. Today we're going to write notes. All right, I'm going to give you a little talk about technical journals. So yes, please bring your notebooks and your pencils, pens.
Can I ask you, you're in a very good position. So
You're going to be in charge.
I'm very sorry, it's really annoying. There's a volume, so the camera's in that corner there. So the thing is,
Yep.
and try and get the close-ups. So, what was it?
It should just be our hands, hopefully.
So if you get the close-ups with that.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to tell you this. I'm just going to, you just tune me. Just listen to my little speech about technical file. Okay, I understand that you all feel like this about technical file. Okay, that's fine. I get it. All right. I think it's because you see it as extra work that you need to do. Yeah? And it is a bit dull. All right. But what I'm going to tell you is that being kind of 10 years in the future away from you guys, that technical file is technical file. If you do it the right way, which is that if you write notes during class, you stick those in your technical file. Right? It shouldn't be any extra work. Okay? If you write notes during class, it takes you, if you need to type it up, you just stick it in. I know you've all got this idea that they need to be these perfectly publishable books. We're in year 2 now. Technical files are for you. Okay? You write them for you. You don't write them for me. Okay? By the end, and I'm just going to do this drawing, okay, all you need in your technical file about cuttlefish casting is going to be a drawing with the important things on it. And I'm going to explain all these things to you, okay, with arrows explaining what they are. Okay, and you're going to write what they are. Okay, and then at the bottom you write problems. And you write what they are and how to fix them. Okay, that's all you need in your technical file. Okay, for this class is the important things. All right, and that's why we're going to share all of our photographs. Because you'll all make slightly different errors, or you'll all find out quite interesting things about the material, and we're going to share it. And you can copy and paste it and stick it in your technical files. It doesn't have to be beautiful. It just has to be something that if in 5 years' time someone came along and said to you, how do you do this? You'd go, oh yeah, I did that with that crazy technician who used to teach us. And you'd flip back through, find the page, you'd find the drawing, and you'd be like, yeah, I know what to do. All right? So if you write notes during class, technical files shouldn't be any extra work. All right, so everyone sort of try it, see if it makes it easier for you. You're still going to have to do technical file, and I'm always going to say to you, write this in your notebook, by which I mean your technical file. Okay? Yeah? Everyone with me? Okay. Boring bit over this. All right. So, I'm just going to talk a little bit about mould. So, Spencer. You all know Spencer from Golden Lane, right? Yeah. One of the things that Spencer used to do was he used to produce a lot of pewter work. Okay, he would produce maybe 1,000 of one object. Okay, and so that's why he would make silicon molds. Right. So do you remember when you came before and we talked about the different types of molds and how much they all cost? All right. So maybe your silicon mold cost £50, but he's making 1,000 of these. All right. So that's he's able to spread the cost over 1,000. So it's £50 divided by 1,000. So it's less than a penny per one. Okay. Whereas if you're making a one-off, which in this situation you are, okay, that's where we try and choose to use the single-use molds because they're really quick and they're really cheap. Okay. If you spend £50, say, on your silicon mold, and then you say you spend £20 on computer, £70 just on material. Okay, then you're going to maybe charge for a day's work. Maybe it takes you a day to do it. Okay, so that's 150. That's going to take us to 220. And you're going to add 20% profit margin on there, which is quite low. Okay, so you're up to 250. So maybe someone saw it. Okay, Liberties are like, yeah, I want to stock it. Okay, they're going to times that by 4, and that's how much they're going to sell it for. So your one little piece of jewellery they'll be trying to sell in Liberties for £1,000. Okay, so you have to think a little bit about the production methods you're using versus where you think they should sit in the industry. Okay, so that's why I'm showing you cuttlefish casting. When I'm making one-offs, I do use cuttlefish casting or sand casting or simple casting methods like that, unless I'm getting paid a lot of money for it, like an engagement ring, which is often quite a lot of money. All right, so it's just a thing for you to start to think about is one-off versus production of multiples. All right. I'm going to pass these around because I think when I talked to you about the weight of pewter last time, maybe you weren't all believing me. All right, so we're going to pass around the elephant and the elephant mould. Okay, so you can get to see. And I'm also going to pass around. This was a little trophy, man. Okay, so this is how a really good silicone mould is made. It was really good keys. It's made in 2 parts. Okay, I'm just going to pass that around. Look at. And when it comes around, pass the iPad to someone else so that you get to have a look too. All right. Oh, it's heavy, he said. Let's pass another one round. Okay, so this is what I want you to start to understand is the weight of the material.
When you do with a silicone mold like that, you can reuse it.
Yes, it's reusable. So if you're producing multiple things. So when you guys go on to placement, some of you will go and work for a production jeweler. Usually a few of you do at least. And those production jewelers will be maybe making 100 and they'll have silicone molds that the caster will keep in a drawer with their name on. Like at AO Castings, they've got a small drawer with my name on it, and I'll call them up and be like, oh, I need, 10 of mold 1, or whatever like that. Okay, so there's this difference between you making a one-off, how you turn it into multiple production. Maybe one of the things you make today, we put it in the cabinet outside, and someone's like, yeah, I want to make 1,000 of them, I'm going to sell them. And then you'll be like, I really need to make a silicone mold. Okay?
You're getting your caster, like you want to help them hold casters. If you wanted to take it,
You just ask them.
they'll let you have it.
Yeah, I just leave it there for convenience because I don't like cycling Hollywood. Yes, one from tonight. From tonight, we're going to put all the things we make today. We're going to put them out in the cabinet for tonight. Because at 5 we're all going to have a little drink, and people are going to come and look at the work in the cabinets. So. Oh, are you in charge now? All right, so everybody has a little hold of the elephant. Yeah? What are your thoughts on the elephant? It's heavy. Okay, I think that's the main thing to take from this. The elephant. He's quite heavy. Right? I don't know, you have to ask him. That's a good question. I forgot to get that info. And they can bring them over. They're quite heavy. You've got them over in the bag. And I was like, this is what? And then when I got here this morning, there's a whole set. And I was like, Spencer, you must have really thought back today. No, you cannot steal one. Oh, you cannot steal one. All right, so that's one type of mold. All right, that's a similar thing to these molds. Okay. All right. So if you're making lots of something, it gives you the opportunity to make lots. From a cuttlefish, you maybe get 2. From a cuttlefish, you maybe get 2 minutes to do it again. But it also only takes you. It also only takes you kind of to and fro. There's that type of mold. And then I did a bit of an experiment about other ways you can mold. So I made a block mold. Okay. And this was what came out. So I'm just going to pass that around. So with laser etching, you're only going to get something quite 2D, sort of in height. Okay. But I've managed to get quite a lot of detail on the surface. So that's one way you can go about carving something without having to carve it. Let me see if I can find Ellie, because she had quite a good mold as well. You pass those around and have a look. Quick eyes off me. I'm just going to film your hands. Maybe Anton needs to do like the glamorous. So also I've just brought Ellie so that you can see. So she wanted to do something quite flat. Okay, so like the woodblock mold that I'm passing around, we're going to stick this on a woodblock and have the other block. So what we'll do is you'll have this stuck on a piece of wood, so it's got the back. We'll have another flat piece on the top. Okay, so then we're creating this space. here, okay? Because it's quite difficult for us to get this big flat shape. We're going to make a block mold. You got the cuttlefish right? Quite worked. So yeah, we tried to do it in the cuttlefish, and it didn't quite work. Okay. So we're going to have a go at making a wood block.
When you cast in the wood, does it release fine?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't want, I mean, you don't want to go too heavy on the undercuts, obviously. And it burns, so I think you probably get like 5 or 6 goes out of it. But it's just a way to show you that actually laser cutting isn't just about cutting out shapes. You can actually use laser cutting to make relief on surfaces if you've got very exact patterns that you're trying to get. All right. So I just wanted to show you, because it was so flat, I mean, I still think we might get a little bit out of it. Because it was so flat, we've decided to kind of upgrade. Maybe we should try. When these guys are doing it, we'll have a try. All right. But I just wanted to show you that so you can kind of get them. All right. Thank you very much for being my glamorous assistant on this occasion. All right. How's my wood block mold going? Is that passed around? Okay. So we all looked at some cuttlefish mold last time, didn't we? Yeah? Okay. I'm going to show you how to do it. Right. So, first things first. When you get your cuttlefish, it will be slightly rounded, like this. Okay? Really important. So the first step, the first thing you do when you're drawing, is to show that you need to make them really nice and flat. Okay? I'm just going to use 2 offcuts so that we don't waste the cuttlefish for you. Okay? So, simply, we're going to use the rough sandpaper. Okay? You can tear it off there and stick it on your bench. All right? If we used emery paper, we'd be here till Christmas. We're using the rough sandpaper and you're pressing hard. Okay? Okay, so it's nice and flat. And then I'm going to do the same with my other bit. Okay, because the most common mistake is that you have a gap at the bottom and it all runs out. Okay, so you want to make sure they're really tightly close together. So in fact, that one's not quite there. And actually now, I've gone so far through that I haven't got much space between the bone, and I'm going to use another little bit. Well, we'll see if we can make it work. All right, so you need to make sure, number 1, capital letters in your notes, that they're really flat together, okay? No gaps. Otherwise, we'll pour the pewter in and it will run out the bottom. We don't want to have lots of molten metal running around on the bench. All right? Okay. Okay, so that's that bit here. Okay, we need to leave at least 1.5 centimeters, 15 millimeters from the top. Okay, and I'll start just by pressing it in. Okay, and then I'll get my other side. And I snapped it, which may or may not happen. What we'll do is we'll try on another side. If it doesn't work out the first time, don't worry, just move on to the next. All right, so I've just done another one there. Just gonna push it in, okay? So you see how I squashed it together? Yeah? Now, what happens if I just take this apart and don't do anything else?
You'll be able to line it up again.
I won't be able to line it up again, okay? So this is the second big important thing, okay, is being able to line it back up again, okay? So, we need to make some marks, okay? Now, this is what I would call registration marks, a bit like when I do the register to check you're all here, okay? We're going to do some registration marks on the cuttlefish, okay? So, I'm going to put a little line, another little line, another little line. So I always do 2 on the top, 2 on the top. All right, all right. Let's do 1 on the bottom, okay? And then when it comes to the side, if you, on mine, it's all right because I can do this. Okay, but you may need to get your saw frame to cut in. Okay, and it's quite useful to cut in because that's a good place to put your binding wire. Okay, it makes a little groove that you can put your binding wire. Okay. So I'm going to pass that around so you can all see the importance of my registration marks. All right. Try not to drop my ring out. My other one on, so I'll move it. All right. Any questions so far? Now, you might be pressing something in. Okay. In which case, you're going to need to carve it out. Okay. So, carve out. I want to space those middle. Okay. Maybe I've got little things coming off. If I was going to embed my stone, I did have a little stone around. Can I borrow someone's little stone? Who's got one? There is a little one around.
Jenny.
Oh, fantastic. All right. I'm just going to show you. I'm not going to cast it in. Okay. If I was going to use my stone, then you need to find the place that you're going to sit it in. Okay. So I've pressed it in a little bit. Now this is where we start to think back to our setting. Okay. So what we're going to want to do is to carve a little up, so the pewter will start to go up a little bit around, making those little claw shapes that are going to hold it in. Okay, if you ever look at some work, a bit like what Polly Wales does, she casts the stones in her work quite often, and you'll see that she's very careful to make sure that the metal is going to come over just enough to hold those stones in, so no extra setting has to be done afterwards. Okay, so you're really going to have to think about it, and that's where your drawing comes in. Okay, that's why I made you all do a drawing. Okay. Whose stone was it? Thank you very much, Sina, for lending the stone. All right. How's my cuttlefish going? Is it almost all the way around? Yeah? All right, so now I've got my marks. I'm feeling confident. Okay, I'm just going to open it up. Now, this is the next thing to think about. Okay, if I just go and get my nail in there, cuttlefish is soft enough that I will scratch it with my nail, and that will alter the shape. So you want to be as careful as possible to take it out. If you do need to put something in where you're going to put the sprue so that you've covered up that mark. Okay, so just going to pop it out. All right, and now I've got my two halves of my mold. Okay, so the next important thing is the sprue. Okay, so the sprue is this bit. Okay, can anyone tell me why it's funnel shaped rather than straight? Say it. What did you say?
Easier to put the pewter in.
It makes it much easier, yes. The reason why it makes it easier is it's a bit like a funnel. Has anyone ever poured water into a funnel? Okay. And the reason why that works is because it's heavier at the top. Okay, and so it pushes it through. Okay. We often forget about air because it's here, it's everywhere, it's inside everything. It's inside every jar, every pot, inside our lungs, it's everywhere. And it's inside your mold. Okay, so when I close this up, there's lots of air inside of my ring. Okay, so when we're pouring the pewter in, it's got to push that air out. Okay, so that's why you have to have a nice big V-shaped sprue so that there is enough weight that it pushes that air out and through. Okay, does that make sense to everybody? I don't want to see any skinny sprues. Skinny sprues don't work. We want fat sprues. Fat V-shaped sprues. All right, so I'm just going to... Are you laughing at me, Anton?
I just said I prefer myself to be fat.
Well, in a minute we're going to do some very skinny lines. So fat sprue and skinny air lines is what we're going to do. Well, do you know what? You're going to remember it, aren't you? I might give you some silly analogies sometimes, but you're going to remember it. Okay, so now I've done it on one side. Okay, so to make sure that I get it even on the other, I'm just going to match them back up again along their lines. Okay, and mark where I've done the sprue on the other side. Okay. Now, there's lots of different types of carving tools, and you should have some in your toolkit. So, you know, something like this, or maybe something like this. It's a riffler, or these are the ones that you use for sculpting clay, and anything like that. They are very soft. Okay. So when I open it up, I can just see the little mark of where it needs to be. I'm just using a variety of tools for fun. All right. I'm just gonna draw that and then scoop that out. Okay, so you can see how simple that can be. All right. Okay, so 2 halves through. Okay, now what we need is our air line. So I've said that we're pushing the air out and it needs to go somewhere. So all we need to do is take our scalpel for this. It has to just be a very, very fine line. It's important that it is really skinny, the Kate Moss of airlines. All right, that's for you. It needs to be really skinny because otherwise the piece is going to. All right, so I've got them all facing upwards. Okay, so they're much less likely to run out the bottom. You all right there? Am I entertaining you? Good. Good, that's what it's all about, as long as I'm entertaining you. Okay.
Particularly like your comparison.
Was it Kate Moss Airlines? Well, Anton inspired me. I don't know what. Yeah. So we're making a nice curvaceous sprue and really skinny supermodel airlines. Okay. You write that in your technical files, so you sound love that. So just pass those round to have a look. I'm just going to go switch the keys on. Pass those round.
It will come to me. She's like Lyndon Battery stores. You recognize.
Okay. Has anyone got any questions? Yes.
Yeah. What if the object that we want to cast is really like with a lot of detail and quite fragile? What do we do then?
The cuttable casting might not be the right. If you got with you what you need to cast, if you bring it to the front, you can have a quick look at it. That goes for anybody. If you've got any questions, let's do it in the forum so that we can all try and answer it together. It might be okay, but I don't know if it would be hollow through the middle.
It is quite fragile.
Very fragile. All right.
What would I do with that?
This is a really good example. Okay, can everybody see the little skull? It's really light and very fragile. So it's not appropriate for us to push this into the cuttlefish. Okay, partly because it's so fragile, but partly because it's got lots of undercuts. Okay, so everyone remember about undercuts? Lots of nods. Good. We talk about undercuts a lot. So you've got quite a lot of undercuts. So actually, even if we could push it into the cuttlefish, it would just push it around the outside. You wouldn't get that inside space. Okay. The only real way to do something like this is with the silicone mould. Because you're going to need to get the silicone that's going to need to go in, and it will also need to probably be a 2 or 3 part mould. Okay. Sometimes that's what you've got to do. Okay, if you want something with that many undercuts, okay, the only thing is to be able to make a multiple part mould.
How about do that?
Yeah. So you make a mould from silicone. If you wanted this in future, then you would have to make it out of this heat.
resistant silicone. Okay, so I'm going to give all of the information about this on the Padlet for you that I'll send out on Moodle. If that is something you want to do, I would go and make an appointment with Marla so she can talk to you about the different shape that the mould's going to need to be. Okay, there's no resin involved. It's just going to be the silicone. Okay, so the silicone is not silicone. You don't have to wear masks or anything like that for silicone. It is better to do it at Golden Lane because we've got the vacuum degasser. Do you all remember the thing that sucks the air out and it makes it all go bubbly? Okay, so you're going to need to do it there. But if you go and talk to Marla, we did do something quite similar last year, and we made, I think, a 3-part mould, and that worked quite well.
Okay, I'll try them.
Okay, but don't push that in the cuttlefish; it's going to be too fragile. But what you could do for today is maybe pick a shape that you like from it and carve it into the cuttlefish. So maybe it's the beak, or maybe it's a section from inside that you quite like. All right.
I have some stronger bones. So I'll try that.
Yeah, maybe try those.
The airlines are only for one.
Yes, that's a really good question. You only need to put the airlines on one side. Okay. I forgot to say that this morning. We did have some leaky moulds. We don't want to have any leaky moulds this afternoon. All right.
One side of
One
the
part.
cuttlefish.
Yeah.
Oh.
It just has to be that very, very tiny space so that the air can come out. Okay, otherwise the air is going to want to push open your cuttlefish. Okay, it's got to go somewhere. All right. So once you've got your cuttlefish going, and I'll just start with, you need to bind it together. We're going to need to hold it together. Now, if I haven't shown you this already, this is a really useful way to bind anything up, even when you're doing soldering. Okay, which is you take your line, okay, and we fold it in half. Okay. I've wrapped a little bit of it around my finger. I'm just going to twist it to make a key. Okay. I don't want to see anyone getting their binding wire and just binding it around like this. Not tight enough. Okay. Lazy binding. No more. This is the top trick. So when my cuttlefish comes back, I'll show you. And you both had a look. Okay, so you can see the airlines are really, really small, so just there. Okay, so I'm going to be really careful to line it up on my registration marks. Okay, looking at the top, at the side, and at the bottom. All right. I'm going to take my binding wire, and this is where it's quite good if you have used your saw frame to make a little groove to help hold it together. Okay, so now I've got something to wrap it around. So you know when you find binding really, really complicated, okay? Doesn't need to. So and then we twist it on the other side. Okay. And we can use pliers or our hands to start twisting it all together. Okay, and we'll tighten it up with the pliers and we'll get it all put in. All right. So it should look something like this. Okay, I want to see lots of these lined up in half. Okay, now I'm going to show you, we're going to pour in this one and I'm going to show you the outcome. All right. Then what we're going to do is I'm going to divide you into groups. Okay, they're going to be groups of 3, so we found that worked quite well this morning, where you can decide between yourself what roles you're going to take. We're all going to make a cuttlefish. Okay, no cheating, there's no 1 between 2. Okay, you're all going to do one. Okay, but you can pool your notes, okay? So different problems that you might encounter, put it together. It doesn't have to be in words. I've got no interest in it being in words. It can be in drawings, it can be anything, okay? You can take photos, okay? If you take photos, it'd be really good if you upload them to the Padlet, okay? I'll put that on there. You'll remember when we did Padlet before, you double click and you upload it, okay? Or if you're happy to post them on Instagram, some people took some absolutely beautiful photos earlier. If you put it on Instagram with the hashtag LCFpewter, and I'll put that on there as well, then it'll all start coming up on the board. And then at the end, we can actually see what everyone did, the problems that everyone encountered, okay? So you know what to avoid when you come to do it for real. Okay? Is everyone happy with that? Yeah? Good. All right, let's go next door to Paul the Pewter. Exciting times. Well done. Good iPad holding.
You pass it on to someone else, we'll just keep recording.
Yeah, we'll just pass it on to someone else. someone else's turn next.
Thank you.
Quite interesting, though, right? I think we were going to pass the iPad on to someone else.
Someone near the front,
Someone
hopefully.
near the front?
Yeah.
You're going to be my top boy here? Yeah? Do you think we're interesting when you can zoom in or out? Yeah?
Thank you.
Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, okay, is we're just going to tighten up our binding wire, okay, because we don't want it to be loose, alright? So I didn't have my pliers installed, which is very annoying, okay? Just going to tighten up the binding wire, okay, so that this cuttlefish can't go anywhere. It's alright, it's good to make it safe. Okay, so I've got it all lined up. Alright. Now, I'm going to pop it in the sand, okay, because what I don't want is any hot metal rolling off and onto the floor. So the other reason you're in groups is because in your group of 3, there'll probably be one person who's wearing better shoes than the other. Yeah, there are some leather boots hanging around, okay. What we don't want is any hot metal burning through anyone's trainers. Alright? Amy, your corner. Okay, so what is missing is the leather apron. Can anyone see the leather apron?
Oh, leather apron.
Wendy， 呢條圍裙啊！
Oh, you're wearing it. You're wearing it. Oh yeah, I found one. There were 2 earlier. I don't know what's gone on with that. All right, so we're going to get properly suited up for this, okay? Because I don't want hot metal burning through my clothes. Okay, I don't want hot metal burning through my shoes. All right. Girls over there, can you just be quiet? Because I'm just going to do this, and then you can talk as much as you like. I have a very horrible scar here where I got some hot metal on me, and that's 3 years later, and it's still really looking pretty sore. All right, so no one is going to do that. We're going to wear our nice leather apron. Okay, I don't want anyone coming up here and playing around with it without being properly suited up. So, it's very glamorous, this, right? So, we're going to wear our leather apron. Now, it'll still burn if we poured it on ourselves, but it's not going to maim you. Okay, no one's going to have to go to hospital. All right, so we've got the big gloves. All right, and in here, and you can all come and have a quick look afterwards. Okay, well, actually, now's quite a good time. So it's actually just on the verge of melting. Okay, so if everyone just comes up one at a time, you don't need to take pictures of it now. If you put your phones too near it, they're going to melt your phones. All right, so you can see how it's matte and then very shiny mirror finish metal on the inside. Okay. You can see it's just properly melting now. It's starting to take over. I'm going to move out the way so you can all have a look. Don't put your fingers in it or your faces. I know it looks like you want to touch it, but it's not good for touching.
Someone online, I think it's did a thumbprint.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's okay to do anyway.
Do a thumbprint in the. You just wouldn't do that. No. Even after years and years of me holding hot things, burning part of my finger, being a really disgusting smoker, and all of those horrible things you do when you're younger, I still wouldn't put my finger on it. It's
well, I don't want to do it. I just saw someone do it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, they went.
没有跟我说一声，他可能把我就接住了。
我也觉得，不好跟他说。
All right, so.
Sorry. Oh, you're yeah, this
Someone
one.
posted quite a nice Instagram video of this earlier. I don't know who did that. So I've got it in the sand, okay, and I'm gonna pick up the metal inside here, okay, and it looks good enough to touch, all right, but we're absolutely not going to touch it at any stage, okay? We will learn ourselves. All right, so you're just going to pick it up, and I'm going to ask you to do this in groups, so we'll line up 4 or 5 and pour them all at once, okay? Now you see, it's just a bit too cold because I was talking just a bit too long, all right? So pop that in there, okay, and pour it in there. Okay, so it doesn't take very much, and if it spills over into the sand, better in the sand than on your foot. All right. So you can see on the top at the moment, it looks this really nice glassy, mirrory. And you really do want to touch it. Okay, and this is why I'm going on and on about don't touch it. Maybe we came through earlier. One of the girls. All right, I know it's tempting, but don't do it. Okay, no, we don't want anyone to go to hospital today. Okay, I'm not in the mood. All right. While it's still looking like that, it's still too hot to touch. Okay, really important. And it's going to change before our eyes into this matte finish. When it's that matte finish, that's when we're ready. Okay, to take it out. Okay, be patient. All right, I don't want anyone doing that. Okay, it happens quite a lot to me if I'm casting something in silver or gold. Okay, when you're casting with silver and gold, you wouldn't use something like this. You'd use one of these, a little crucible that you heat it up in. It must be much, much hotter. Okay. And I'm so excited to see how it's going to come out. Sometimes I open it up a bit too soon, and then it just breaks. Okay, so it's important that you wait at least 30 seconds after you think you really want to take it out. I know it's exciting. Still get that? Okay. Right. So you can see now. Okay. Gone nice and matte. Okay. We've got it. Cool. So that's when you're just going to undo the key. Okay, I'm still holding this bit with my gloved hand. Okay. Super hot. Okay, just going to try and take off my binding wire. Now, like when you solder something and it's really hot, and you sizzle it in the water, quench it in the water, okay? We do the same on the inside of this. It's really important you don't open it up and try and touch it, okay? It's still really, really, really hot. Okay, so you open it up into the water. Okay, so I wasn't quick enough. It didn't flow around. Okay, it's chatting too much. All right, so you have to pour it when it's still really runny. And I was trying to pour it when it was quite solid. Okay, if this happens to you, all right, and it will happen to some of you, where it hasn't rolled all the way around, okay, and I'll leave this out for you to see, okay, you just take it out, put it back in, bind it back up again, and have another go. All right, really important. So again, I'm still not touching it, okay, I'm going to take it out. Okay, and you see, I need to quench it in the water. Still fizzles, okay, so it's really still very hot. Okay, so all of these bits, they go back in, alright, and I'm going to leave this out so you can see. I'll just put it on the table, okay, so sometimes it doesn't work. You just have to bind it back up again and do it again. Alright, it's good to make mistakes sometimes. Always happens when you're doing a demonstration, doesn't it, Marla? Oh look, Marla's here to see us. Hi, Marla. All right, so I'm just going to leave this on here so you can all see that sometimes it goes wrong. It's not the end of the world. You just start again. All right. So we're going to go next door. Divide your group into 3. And we're going to get going. All right. Think of any questions between now and then. I'll just tell you.
Is it finished now?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're all finished.
I think the same way I put the airline.